Hello, beautiful 8th grade people. We are going to do this worksheet, and then as soon as we are done, you're going to do one just like it with different numbers for homework. We will go over it tomorrow, and then on the next day, which would be Wednesday, you're going to do this exact same worksheet for a quiz. So hopefully you could solve by substitution, elimination, and graphing. All right, we're going to look at number one, and the first thing you want to do when solving by substitution is to figure out which letter is most best, that's really bad English, to isolate. So this y right here is a positive y, so that would be the easiest one to isolate. So in order to get that alone, the first step is to subtract 5x. All right, this is going to be really hard because I'm not doing this how I usually do it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to just cross this off. I have it copied down at the bottom. So this bottom equation right here is y equals, oh my gosh, negative 5x minus 5. Okay, so this negative 5x minus 5 is going to go in to the top equation for y. That's your substitution piece. Now the only trick here is this negative. So I'm going to put a 1 in front of the y, and we're going to rewrite that top equation, 2x minus 1, and then instead of y, it's going to read negative 5x minus 5 equals negative 9. So you're going to distribute this negative 1 to both parentheses. You now have 2x plus 5x plus 5 equaling negative 9. The 2x and the 5x are on the same side of the equal sign, so you're going to put them together just as it reads. You're going to move the 5 to the opposite side of the equal sign. So now you have 7x equals negative 14. And then you're going to divide by 7, giving you x equals negative 2. You then just need to plug that back into one of the top two equations. You might as well plug it into the 2. And then you would solve for y. So negative 4 minus 1y equals negative 9. You're going to add 4 to isolate the y. Negative 1y equals negative 5. And then get rid of that negative 1 through division, so y equals 5. So your ordered pair solution is negative 2 comma 5. Now, you might want to try to plug it into the bottom equation just to make sure you're right. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, and then plus 5 is negative 5. So for sure this works. It works in both equations, so you know you're right. Okay, don't cross off 4. I'm just going to rewrite it down lower. In number 2, the letter that is screaming to be isolated is right here, this x. And we're going to isolate that through subtracting 2y from both sides. So this bottom equation becomes x equals negative 2y minus 10. And instead of minus, I'm going to do that slash and dash thing, so plus a negative 10. This goes in for x in the top equation. So negative 4. Instead of x, the substitute is coming in, so negative 2y plus negative 10. Continue that top equation, so plus 2y equals 0. You're going to distribute, so 8y plus 40 plus 2y equals 0. The 8y and the 2y are on the same side of the equation, so 10y plus 40 equals 0. You're going to subtract the 40 to isolate the y. 10y equals negative 40, and then divide by 10 to get the y alone. So y equals negative 4. You're going to take that right back up to one of the two initial ones. You might as well go, it doesn't matter, you'll get the same answer, into the top. So negative 4x plus 2 times negative 4, which is getting substituted in for y, equals 0. So negative 4x plus negative 8 equals 0. Add 8. Negative 4x equals 8. Divide by negative 4. X equals negative 2. So the ordered pair solution, negative 2, negative 4. And then we solved that using the top equation. You might have done the other one. So whatever opposite equation, I'm going to plug it into the bottom and make sure it works since I solved it using the top. So x is negative 2. That's negative 2 plus 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 2 times plus negative 8 is negative 10. So hooray, I'm positive that that is right. Okay, we're going to do 3 and 4 now. If you want, you could pause and try them and see if you get the right answer. Or you can just keep following along. Y is the one that definitely needs to be isolated. Every other letter has a coefficient. So y equals negative 5x plus 3. That means the y value is going to go into the y in the opposite equation. So negative 3x minus 5, substitute for y, negative 5x plus 3 equals negative 15. Slash and dash, distribute. Oh boy. So 3x plus, that's an x, 25x plus negative 5 times positive 3 is negative 15. These are on the same side of the equation, so 28x, and let's go ahead and add that 15. So 28x equals 0. To get the x alone, you would divide by 28. So x equals 0. You can have 0 over something. And then you're just going to plug that 0 back into one of the initial x's. So 5 times 0 plus y equals 3. So 0 plus y equals 3. So y equals 3. So 0, 3. Should be, oh my goodness, should be the solution. 0, 3. That reads 0, 3. 0, 3. Now, plug that into the opposite one. So for me, it would be this bottom one. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Does that equal negative 15? Yay! So for sure, the solution is 0, 3. You could isolate the y, but that negative does make it slightly tricky. I'm going to just put a 1 there so you don't forget about it. So in order to isolate the x, you need to add 1y to both sides. So x equals y plus 2. So now, into the opposite equation, you're going to plug in the y plus 2 for x. Negative 3 times y plus 2 minus 2y equals negative 6. Okay, so negative 3 times y is negative 3y. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. I'm going to make that plus a negative instead of minus, but it doesn't matter. And then just finish writing your equation, negative 2y minus 6 from up there. So the negative 3y and the negative 2y are on the same side of the equal sign. So negative 5y plus negative 6 is equal to negative 6. And then then you need to add 6. So negative 5y equals 0. And when you divide by negative 5, you get y equals 0. Now if you plug that back into the initial, the bottom one seems a lot easier. I'm going to the bottom. I don't know why I drew the top. But another good way to see if it works is to plug it into both and see if you get the same answer. So x minus 0 equals 2. What's a 2? So x equals 2. So the ordered pair solution should be 2, 0. Since I plugged it into the bottom, I'm now going to plug it into this top and make sure it works. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. 2 times 0 is 0, and so negative 6 does equal negative 6, so you are positive that that is correct. Substitution? Awesome. Elimination. All right, in order to eliminate, your letters have to have the exact same coefficient. So again, we're going to do 7 and 8. I just have them down here cut and pasted, so I'm just going to cross them off. Don't cross them off on yours. So if we want the x's to be the same number, how do you get 9 and 3 to be the same number? You would get them both up to be 9. If you want the y's to be the same number, 7 and 4, to get them up to the same number, would be 7 times 4, which is 28. So you'd actually have to multiply both equations times something. So it makes more sense to get the x to be the same number, and we're going to do that by multiplying the bottom by 3. So I'm going to rewrite the top. And now, multiplying by 3, you have a positive 9x, which is great because we can add to eliminate. You want the coefficient of the letter the same, yet the opposite. Minus 12y equals negative 28 times 3. And so 8 times 3 is 24, and 3 times 2 is negative 6, plus 2 is negative 84. So when you add to eliminate, negative 12 and negative 7 is negative 19. And negative 84 minus 8 is negative 76. And then to get the y alone, you would divide by the negative 19. And negative 76 divided by 19 is a beautiful 4. 2 negatives make a positive. And then you're just going to plug this 4 back into one of the two initial equations in for y. So 3x minus 4 times 4 equals negative 28. So 3x, negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. Then add 16. So 3x is negative 12. And then divide by 3, and x is negative 4. So the ordered pair solution is negative 4, 4. We plugged that into the bottom, so let's just test with the top. So negative 9 times negative 4 is 36. Negative 7 times positive 4 would be negative 28, and is positive 36 minus 28 equal to 8? Yes, so that is for sure correct. Number 6. So, we can get the x's the same by multiplying by 5. We could also get the y's the same by multiplying by 5. But if you want to add, then multiplying by 5, we would be able to add and eliminate the x's because that coefficient would be the opposite. So the new top equation is negative 5x plus 5y equals 20. And the bottom equation, 5x plus 5y equals negative 20. When you add, the x's cancel, so 10y equals 0. So y equals 0. I'm going to plug the y right back into the top. Top one just has smaller numbers. So if negative x equals 4, then positive x equals negative 4. So the ordered pair solution appears to be negative 4, 0. Let's go ahead and plug it into the bottom just to make sure. So 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. 5 times 0, because that's what the y is 0, and negative 20 is equal to 20, so hooray, that works also. Alright, looking at this, the easiest two letters to get the same, I'm seeing that 10 and 5 is pretty easy to get to 10, you just multiply by 2. If you wanted to eliminate the x's, you'd probably have to get them, you could multiply 7 times 8 to get 56, which means this would have to be multiplied by 8, and this would have to be multiplied by 7, so it's a lot more work. Now, if we multiply by 2, the y coefficient is going to be 10. Oh, bye. And then you would have to subtract to eliminate. So let's go ahead and multiply by negative 2, and then we could add to eliminate. So negative 7x plus 10y equals negative 5, just rewriting that equation. And then multiplying through by negative 2 so that we can add to eliminate. 16x minus 10y, or plus negative, equals negative 40. And then we're going to add. Negative 7 and positive 16 is a positive 9. The y's eliminate. And a negative 40 and a negative 5 is negative 45. Then when you divide by 9, x is equal to negative 5. You need to plug that back into one of the initial ones. Might as well go to the, doesn't matter. Go into the bottom. So negative 8 times negative 5 plus 5y equals 20. Negative 8 times negative 5 is negative positive 40. And then to get the y alone, you subtract 40 first. And then divide by 5. So y is equal to negative 4. So the ordered pair solution appears to be negative 5, negative 4. Now, we used the bottom to get it, so let's check with the top. Negative 7 times negative 5 is positive 35. Positive 35. Negative 4 times 10 is negative 40, and positive 35 plus negative 40 is negative 5. So again, you are positive, you are correct. Number 8. 7 and 4, to get those to be the same number, it would have to be 7 times 4, which is 28. To get 18 and 9 to be the same number, you only have to multiply the 9 by 2 to get it to be 18. So that's going to be the easier route. So I'm going to rewrite the top equation, negative 18x plus 7y is equal to 1. And then multiply 2 through in the bottom equation. So positive 18x minus 8y is equal to 4. Add to eliminate. X's are gone. Negative 1y is equal to 5. To get the y alone, you would divide by negative 1, giving you y equals negative 5. Plugging negative 5 back into one of the two original equations, 9x minus 4 times negative 5 equals 2. That's 9x plus 20 equals 2. Subtract 20 to isolate the x. 9x equals negative 18. Divide by 9. So x equals negative 2. So the solution appears to be negative 2 comma 5. Again, you're going to look at the top and just make sure, since we figured this out plugging it into the bottom. Negative 18 times negative 2 is positive 36. 7 times 5, negative 5 is 35, and 36 plus negative 35, because this is a negative 5, because it's negative 5, is positive 1. So we know we're right. Actually, I wrote it right, but didn't copy it right, so that's a really good reason to check your work. Isn't this so great that you can check your work and be positive you're right? It's a beautiful unit. All right, solve by graphing. Now, you could make a table, or you could just do what we've been doing with graphing. So negative 8 means you're going to start down here at negative 8. That's the y-intercept, the b. And then this is your rise, and this is your run. So you're going to go over 2, up 3. So over 2, up 3. Put a dot. Over 2, up 3. Put a dot. Over 2, up 3. Put a dot. Over 2, up 3, put a dot. Over 2, up 3, put a dot. You can also go back 2, down 3, but it will be off the graph, so great. All right, the second one's going to be a different color. So negative 1 is your B. This is where it starts. And then this is your rise of 1 and your run of 3. So over 3, up 1. Your whole goal here is to see where they cross. Over 3, up 1. Over 3, up 1. And we have our winner, our winning point. You can also go back 3, down 1. Back 3, down 1. Back 3, down 1. And then draw your line, which... So if something is set up for graphing, the easiest method is to graph. If something is set up for elimination, the easiest method is elimination. If something is set up for substitution, the easiest method is substitution. So you just need to see how the problems are set up and go from there. You do need to write the solution, which is over 6, up 1. And then you can also plug this in and just make sure you're right if you want to multiply by fractions. So if you plug 6 in, this is an easy one. 1/3 of 6 is 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. 3/2 of 6 is 9, and 9 minus 8 is 1. So hooray, you're right. All right, the grand finale. The y-intercept is negative 6, so you're going to put a dot right there. This is your rise, and this is your run. But you have this negative out front, so your line needs to be going down as you read the graph to the right. So you're going to go over 2, down 1, or you're going to go back 2, up 1. So over 2, down 1, or back 2, up 1. The second one starts at 7. 9 over 8. So this is rise over run. Now if you go over 8 up 9, it's going to be off the graph. So we're going to go back 8, down 9. Hopefully it'll cross her right away. So back 8, down 9. Perfect. You know it's linear because it's in standard form, or it's in y-intercept form, so you actually only need 2 dots. This is y equals mx plus b. That's y-intercept form. Standard form was the problems above, which is ax plus by equals c. You do need to write this point back 8 down 2. And then you might just want to quickly check 9 over 8 times negative 8 is negative 9, and negative 9 plus 7 is negative 2, so yep. Negative 1/2 times negative 8 is positive 4, and positive 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So again, you're 100% positive this works. I'm hoping that these 3 forms are really making sense. So you're going to now do this on your own, and I will post the answers tomorrow morning. Have a lovely evening.